Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and having a great day as usual. To start things off, Weiss Ratings is once again back in the news. In a post earlier this week on its official website, Weiss Cryptocurrency Ratings praised some of the market's best altcoins, but shared some harsh words in regards to Bitcoin and Zcash forks. It has been a rather enjoyable last few weeks in the cryptocurrency market. Yes, it has, with Bitcoin and virtually every altcoin enjoying rather solid turnarounds, signaling increased confidence in what has been an otherwise bearish marketplace. As noted by Weiss Ratings, the company's highest regarded cryptocurrencies largely performed the best. They said, our highest rated cryptocurrencies are on fire. Cardano rose from its 2018 low of 14 cents to a recent high of 38 cents. NEO went from $44 to $92. EOS has surged from $4 to its recent high of $21. I have written frequently about these super coins. They are truly worthy of your investment dollars. The analysts at Weiss Ratings are bullish on just about every altcoin in the market, except they do not care for any of the forks that have happened over, I guess, forever. In addition to calling Bitcoin Cash intellectually dishonest and Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, and Bitcoin God, my gosh, seriously flawed, Weiss added a new set of borderline scam coins to its list of cryptocurrencies to avoid. First up is Z Classic, which Weiss says is nothing more than a cheap copycat from serial coin imitator Everett Froth. Do not know that guy. Also known as Rhett Creighton. So they said pretty much this. They said about Z Classic, first, he grabs the innovative genius from Zcash by copying their code. Second, he, with his team, cooks up a rationale for making a minor change. He argues Zcash developers have created an annoying miner tax, which collects money from coin miners to fund work by developers, and he bashed the implied centralization. Next, he deletes that one small piece of the code, touts his project as more decentralized, boasts he's taking the moral high ground, and positions his project as truer to the core philosophy of cryptocurrencies, which we've seen so many times before. This is why I always say, please do your own research and kind of compare coins back and forth. I understand that a lot of people say that they are making forks of coins because they think that this is more of the original design. This was the original, idea behind Bitcoin Cash. He said that he knew Satoshi. They were friends. They used to hang out, go to clubs and stuff like that. And at some point, he was like, I need to create Bitcoin Cash because this is the original idea behind Bitcoin. Got it. That was the first one. But every other fork, just about every other fork that has come out, has said that they are the true design. Even when they have made a fork from someone else's coin, it's all kind of weird. So Weiss does not care for forks. I know a lot of people do care for forks because they think they are the truer idea behind some of the coins. But not to even read into all of this, Weiss does not care for this. They also don't care for Bitcoin Prime. Why are there so many different Bitcoins? Interesting to hear that they are once again in the news, and they have kind of people care about their ratings a bit more, because the first times that they released ratings, people did not care about anything that they had to say simply because it was totally out of left field. I think, what was it? I think Dogecoin had a higher rating than Bitcoin or something like that. It was all kind of all over the place, but it seems that their ratings do actually have a significant amount of weight when it comes to people who are looking to get into the cryptocurrency market. So, I mean, good thing that they are kind of learning the space a bit more, I want to say. I don't really care for their ratings too much, but apparently a lot of other people who are trying to get into the space do. Next up, it's kind of a weird story, but I think it's also very significant. Kai Wansheng, who is an angel investor from China and chairman of photo retouching app provider Meitu, says that he has achieved his goal of accruing 10,000 Bitcoin. In an open group Q&A session with tech entrepreneur Wang Feng on WeChat on Thursday, Kai disclosed that although he was holding a single Bitcoin in January of this year, he moved to increase his portfolio over the first quarter of 2018 amid the bearish market's lower prices. Soon after December's record high of around 20,000, the price of Bitcoin started dropping in January. It reached a low for the year around 6,000 before climbing again to 9,700, give or take, where we are right now. He explained He said only had a single unit of Bitcoin just for fun in January, but when I got certain that Bitcoin and blockchain is the future, I set the goal of holding 10,000 Bitcoin. So I started around end of January to build my holdings following the price decline. The more it dropped, the more I bought in, and now the mission is basically complete. I say this because I was having a conversation with someone, and someone else in the comment section a couple of weeks ago, it kind of sparked, like the little flash bulb that you see over your head in cartoons. And I thought a lot of people think for a lot of the coins that the circulating supply is the actual coins that are flowing around the entire market on exchanges at any given time. We have seen so many rich people, higher up people, whatever you want to call them, angel investors, who have come forward the last couple of weeks and have said that they have also been buying cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, over the last couple of weeks, 12 weeks or so, when all the prices were down, and they've been gobbling up as many as they could. He was not the only person who had one before who now has 10,000. I think, I'm not sure if there's a website that actually calculates how many are actively flowing around on any given system, but I don't think that there are as many cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple or Litecoin that are actually flowing around the marketplace that we think. I think the number that people have flowing through their head is kind of a lot higher. And this goes back to what these people keep saying. They said, what is going to happen when every millionaire on the planet wants one Bitcoin and they realize that they can't have that because there's so few flowing around? Just something interesting to think about, how many of these coins are actually flowing around in the space, because I think it's a lot less than people actually think, which is going to cause at some point a surge in the price. During a talk at the Japan Society in New York, the CEO of Monex Group made connections between the derivative market in the 1980s and the current state of cryptocurrency. He applied that the crypto market will experience similar growing pains and market sentiment like what was seen with the derivative market in its infancy. After taking a move with some regard as a total for 180 for prior practices, the Monex Group decided to acquire CoinCheck, a recently hacked cryptocurrency exchange based in Japan, for a reported $34 million. The current CEO of the Monex Group has been found to be at the forefront of the seemingly drastic business shift, where he stated, "What's happening in crypto world today is very similar to derivatives in the 1980s. And sooner or later, all of the regulatory frameworks will be fixed." For those who are unaware, back in the 1980s, derivatives were an innovative yet controversial financial tool which quickly got confronted by the negative attitude which regulators had with this newly formed market. Despite the regulatory pushback, this subsector began to gain a large amount of traction, with many financial institutions jumping on the bandwagon to catch the new wave of financial innovation. That sounds exactly like what's going on today. So many of these industry heads and industry leaders are proclaiming that cryptocurrencies are the next thing. And so many of them keep announcing that once any type of regulatory framework is in place, because it all comes down to paying taxes and taxing other people. This is all that the government really cares about in my eyes. And once they figured out exactly what to call cryptocurrencies so that it's not detrimental to the growth of the sector, and they figured out exactly how much of a percentage they want to tax these things on, I think the market is still going to go absolutely insane. And even all the money that they say is going to dump into the market in 2018, I still think anywhere between 2018 to like 2020, I think it's going to be a very interesting time for cryptocurrencies, because so many more banks than we've already seen now, so many more CEOs will start to come forward talking about exactly how they've always been into cryptocurrencies and how they've always loved it. And now, they're glad that other people are finally getting into the market as well. Whatever. Former Federal Reserve Bank Fed Governor Kevin Walsh says that he thinks that the creation of a Fed coin in order to bring legal activities into a digital coin deserves serious consideration, the New York Times reported on May 4th. Kevin Walsh is an American financier who was the governor at the Fed from 2006 to 2011, et cetera, et cetera. Walsh said that most central banks have a view with that crypto assets are clever, like guys in the garage did, and is kind of cool or risky. Given the possibility for investor losses and widespread fraud, he reportedly noted that blockchain technology would deliver benefits to the Federal Reserve in terms of the payment system it operates. This, according to Walsh, would enable the transfer of trillions of dollars between banks. Jerome Powell said that the Fed is actually looking at blockchain as something that may have a significant application in the wholesale payment part of the economy. According to Weiss, central banks should treat digital currencies as more than a novelty if people can really believe to some extent that cryptocurrency is the future. For those who do not know, about a year ago, maybe some change, the U.S. Federal Reserve actually did test blockchain. They tested it and approved it, and I'll give you a little hint as to which blockchain they were using. Starts with an R and ends with an IPL. You can find that article somewhere online. I don't have it open here, but they've definitely been testing it because realistically at this point, there's been a lot of pushback about blockchain technology and who wants to use it and who should be using it. And a lot of people think that it's not as great as our current system, which is about 40, 50 years old. But I'm fairly certain. I give it, like I said, when the entire market has completely not solidified, when it's more stable in a couple of years, I think this is when we'll start to finally get news that governments have been using or are using or plan on using some type of blockchain, either whether it's one that they created or one that they have partnered up with, to have the money flowing through their government systems. It's going to be, it's so weird. Cryptocurrencies aren't that old. And just a year and a half ago, we had none of this attention on our market. And now we have federal governments talking about like possibly creating digital coins and integration. It's all kind of out there right now. Next up, South Korea is in the news. Jeong Ki-wook, a former executive at Cisco and the founder of Trustverse, a South Korea-based wealth management platform, said that cryptocurrency assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum can evolve into safe haven assets in the long term. In an interview with ZDNet Korea, Jeong said that cryptocurrencies have the potential to become safe haven assets if innovative technologies and solutions can be employed to minimize risk in investment. Currently, the cryptocurrency market is extremely volatile, and as a means of payment, digital currencies still remain immature. But as the adoption of cryptocurrencies from merchants, businesses, individual users, and retailers grow, the market will become stable, allowing cryptocurrencies to reach a certain level of stability that is necessary for businesses to adopt them as legitimate payment methods. As an investment, cryptocurrencies remain a high risk and high return asset class, and traders could secure a 30% gain in 24 hours or experience a 50% loss. For full-time traders and individuals that are deeply committed to the industry, such a level of volatility is manageable, but for casual traders and institutional investors, it is difficult deal with highly volatile assets. I feel like that was incorrectly written. So once again, to my statement and what I think is going to happen, we've seen, maybe you guys not have, I read so many different articles trying to put stuff together for like what's actually significant. And something that's constantly coming up is, remember a while ago, there was that banker or head, whatever his name was, some guy he was talking about that he is, he said, I want to tame Bitcoin. I want to tame the cryptocurrency market. This is constantly being echoed over and over again by a lot of these like heads of finance. They keep saying that at some point they think that cryptocurrencies will have a certain level of stability that will allow normal people to kind of, enter into the market and not really have to worry about it. I'm fairly certain once the number that's been thrown around over the last couple of weeks has been a cryptocurrency, market value of around $50 trillion, which is mind-boggling in my head right now. But I think anywhere between 10, 25, $50 trillion, we will start to experience like 6 to 10% yearly growth and stuff like that, which is kind of weird to think about for cryptocurrencies because we're used to this crazy market. But I think at this point, this is kind of why I'm, not to get off track once again, but this is kind of why I'm obsessed with cryptocurrencies, because I think we are getting into cryptocurrencies at the point, it's literally like the beginning of the market, and a lot of people don't understand that. This is going to create such a huge amount of wealth for people who are holding these coins. A couple of years ago, if you bought $100 worth of Bitcoin, you were sitting on millions of dollars right now. So imagine certain other altcoins that are going to make it. Not all altcoins will make it. That is just my opinion. People are throwing hundreds, maybe $2,000 into certain coins, and in 10 years they're going to be so rich that they can't even believe it. And it's all kind of coming together from all these statements that all these really rich people are making. Not to spend too much time on this, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying. Oh, on a side note, the top gainer today was BitConnect. Just going to throw that out there. The fact that anyone is still touching that coin is, I think, ludicrous. I saw this earlier and I didn't really know what to say. I don't know if it's just like a daily thing, if people are just kind of throwing money into it, hoping to get some type of return. But that's bonkers. Continuing on, Tim Draper is once again in the news. Tim Draper is an entrepreneur who wrote a book where he mentioned Bitcoin. He predicts that by the year 2022, Bitcoin will reach a value of $250,000. He once made a prediction in 2014 about the price of Bitcoin surging up to $10,000 in 2017. He was correct. Since then, Draper has entered the crypto fortune teller controversy. Back then, he was not sure about the usability of the cryptocurrency. Gradually, as he observed people accepting and exchanging cryptocurrency instead of fiat, it struck him then that Bitcoin would be replacing fiat currency. Him, McAfee, and a couple of other people have said it will be replacing fiat currency. Bitcoin needs to be stable in order for that to happen. Not just popular, not the government. Someone in a major government has to say, hey, we're going to accept Bitcoin as our secondary currency for the country. Like, think of how stable Bitcoin has to be in order for it to replace fiat currency. We could eventually get there. Just going to throw that out there. He predicted that the worth of fiat currency will soon fall from $80 trillion to $30 trillion, and simultaneously cryptocurrency's worth will rise to $100 trillion. My gosh. In a recent interview with Forbes, he talks about his calculations in which he says that the cryptocurrency market is going to surge and almost 20% of the market share is held by Bitcoin. He believes that $1 trillion will be the market capitalization for Bitcoin in the coming 10 years. According to his crypto speculation in the year 2020, the trading price will be $250,000. To be fair, no one saw Bitcoin's price hitting where it was today. And in 2020, the award for giving out Bitcoin will be cut in half. I think the next one's, it's not 2020, so is it 2024? I think it's every 4 years that it happens. I'm probably incorrect on that. As there's less and less flowing around, mathematically it does make sense, but I think I may actually throw a party one day when Bitcoin hits $100,000, because that may be the craziest thing in the entire world. But it seems all these super rich people think that we are well on our way. Verge is once again in the news. Traffic Junkie, an online advertising network that handles affiliate marketing to web advertisements, announced earlier today about their tie-up with Verge. The firm will officially start accepting XVG as of the 7th of May, that is Monday, I believe, as a payment on the Traffic Junkie platform. Verge is constantly talking about their next partnerships. It's kind of weird. They announced when they had done, I think the two that kind of drove their price down, they were like, don't worry, we have a lot more coming in the works. Kind of weird because Verge literally came out of left field. There were a couple of people talking about it every now and then. It makes me wonder how hard they've been working to secure partnerships, because it's just about every other day there's a new news about Verge entering some new partnership and who they're partnering with and what they're doing with them. And to even like a side note, it's all kind of been like very unorthodox partnerships as well, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying it as a bad thing. So many people try to target, They try to target like YouTube and Facebook, like level things, but they're making sure that they're getting like big industries that are kind of not under the table, like things that are smaller so they can kind of, you guys see what I'm saying? Like they're getting things that other people aren't looking at, and then in a couple of years when the other people are trying to partner with them, they'll have already partnered with Verge. I think their strategy is very interesting. As you see over the last couple of days, all the partnerships that they've been announcing, especially on this channel. I wonder exactly where Verge will be in 1 year, but it's clearly taking off because a lot of people are talking about Verge now. To finish things off, Coinbase is once again in the news. I think it's about every other day that Coinbase is in the news. Coinbase has said that it is preparing to significantly increase its ability to process transactions and has already built up the size of its full-time engineering team. According to Mike Lempres, Coinbase's chief legal and risk officer, the exchange is hoping to double its transaction capacity in the coming months. In an open letter that was dated May 1st, signed by Lempres and addressed to New York's Attorney General, Eric Schneiderman of Coinbase said, "We expect to again double this transaction capacity in coming months, all while maintaining the highest standard of security expected by our customers." The letter also highlighted that the San Francisco-based exchange, popular because of its fiat to crypto trading pairs, has already significantly increased the scope of its operations in the last year. Since Q3 in 2017, Coinbase has reportedly experienced a 1,000% increase in its transaction capacity, owing principally to its decision to double the size of its full-time engineering staff. The exchange also attributed the growth to a re-architecturing of its code base, as well as efficiencies made to its database and overhaul of APIs. If Coinbase isn't going to announce something significant within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be very upset. First, we had news that they were hiring more people. They were restructuring their entire operation. They were trying to make sure that they would not have another Bitcoin Cash fiasco. They announced that they would be adding new coins. They announced that they would be adding new ERC20 base tokens. They announced that they were also a lot of tokens they thought would experience a moment where they would be announced as securities by the SEC. And then they came out with news talking about that they're also going to try and become some type of a marketplace where they can handle securities. And now they're talking about their new plans for explosive growth. They're planning something big, and I wish that they would just kind of announce it. I think everyone's still waiting for, I don't know if it's May, if it's June at this point when they plan on announcing these things. But Coinbase has literally just been playing games back and forth, talking about when they plan on doing things, and I wish they would kind of get to it, because I'm still hopeful, and I think that by the end of this year, they should have over, I want to say 10 coins on their platform. I'm not going to even say which coins I hope and or think would be on there, but it's time for them to kind of, get with it. But they may all be waiting for the price of Bitcoin to explode once again, because realistically, they are also holding the coins that they are going to announce. And I think that they're waiting for a super dramatic rise in the market, because when they announce or when they make announcements, that's something that's going to be on their website. The prices of the coins will completely skyrocket. And guess who's also holding a significant amount of the coins that they are going to announce? It's going to be Coinbase. All right, everyone. Very interesting weekend. There's a lot of news. There's never any news on the weekend. We may have 2 or 3 news stories, and it's just kind of out of control how much news is really out there during the last couple of weekends because of the excitement that's back in the market. Hope you guys are all having a great day, weekend, wherever you are, wherever you might be, whatever you might be doing. As always, thank you again for the support. Thank you for listening and or watching, however you are getting your information. The price of Ethereum this is a tiny little dip, but we were very close earlier. I think it was 9,980, and Ethereum is officially over 800. Only time will tell exactly what's going to happen. But I don't think we're going to receive any type of crazy news this weekend. I mean, we already have. But if Bitcoin hits over 10,000 this weekend, it'll be very interesting to see that, because typically markets just go sideways on Saturday and Sunday. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.